Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back here at my favorite filming spot location, and guess what? We have that one sedan that still brings a turbocharged power pack punch. Is this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Hyundai Sonata N-Line. But before we get into this mid-size sedan with some sportiness to it, let's talk about what's going on here. So there's a lot of mutterings and talking going on behind closed doors that this might be the end of the Sonata. What does that mean? That means if you want a Hyundai sedan, you only are going to have two choices. Either the Elantra, or if you're going to go full EV, the Ioniq 6. Now the Sonata has been that go-to for people that don't want to go Honda Accord or Toyota Camry, or even I remember the days of the Mazda 6. Remember that midsize sedan? But Hyundai really did something interesting with the Sonata. They brought the N-Line edition. Now, normally N-Line would refer to some badges, maybe a little bit extra performance somewhere, but with the Sonata N-Line, you are getting a standalone engine that does bring that extra power. Now, it's fascinating because this isn't a true all-out N car. What I mean by that, this is not like the Elantra N that has all of the performance that you could think of. But what I want to find out is if you're looking for an affordable midsize and you want it to be a sports sedan and you don't want to break the bank, is this the best way to go? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this one and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, I love this color. Love, love, love the color. It's called Aero Silver Matte, and it's a totally matte finish. And with the overcast skies, it almost looks like it's illuminated from the sheet metal forward. Really fantastic color. Now, the front of the business, you're gonna notice that refresh that recently took place. That means you're gonna have your LED daytime running lamp that actually runs the full length from driver's side to passenger side, the front of the car. It almost reminds me of RoboCop's helmet a little bit, the way he had that, area on his helmet. Very similar, and it looks very similar to the Kona. Now, working your way down, you do have LED headlights, functional corner air curtains, and then more lighting in the lower corner. Now, the one zonk I have is, why did they have to put this fake grille design? Just keep it smooth. Even keep it gloss black. I'm not even bothered by the gloss black. I'm more bothered that it's meant to look like a vent. Then you're gonna have this dark gray flat finish, which looks fantastic. And then on the lower portion, you have a little bit of functionality with the corner air curtain as well. Still got a zonk. This would have been perfect for some LED fog lamps or maybe some brake cooling ducts. But like I said, this isn't an all-out N model, it's an N-Line. Now, as we come across the front of that refresh, fully functional. As we work our way down, you got that flat gray finish. You got, of course, the N-Line badge. And then you have a bit of gloss black and then gloss black on the lower grille. Nicely styled though, definitely modern, but it'll be interesting to see if this can last the test of time and still look good, say 5 or God forbid 10 years from now. What will this look like compared to what else is going to be available around that time? But let me know what you think about the face of this Sonata N-Line. Now, as we rise up, that smooth surface, especially with the Aero Silver color, you got your Hyundai badge, and then you're gonna have a slight rise in the center. Really an attractive hood, and with the matte finish, it shows the crisp body lines all the way around. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with wheel and tire setup? You're gonna get these specific wheels for the Sonata N-Line. It does have the M badge on the center cap. It's a 19-inch wheel, machined aluminum. I like the little indentations that they do, give it a little bit of extra style. Tire size is gonna be 245 on the width, 40 series sidewall. The big zonk for this and why it's not a true N car is that it doesn't have a limited slip diff. It is very challenging to get the power to the ground in this, whether the road is wet or not. So that's one of my big zonks, especially when you're working the twisty bits. This really needs a limited slip diff, or this would be a perfect example of a car that needs all-wheel drive. Because I know a lot of people always talk about this needs all-wheel drive, that needs all-wheel. This car needs all-wheel drive. And what's interesting is that Honda has their H-Track, not 8-track, that's something totally different, H-Track all-wheel drive system would really work well on this car. Now coming down the side, I love on the refresh how you have your side marker lights, your N-Line badges, a little bit of fake vent. I'll give it a half as on because I like the way it looks. This looks really fantastic. Now from the side of the vehicle, this is a midsize, bigger than Elantra, bigger than a Civic, bigger than a Corolla. This is Camry, Honda Accord territory. There's really nobody else at this price point. Altima's going bye-bye at Nissan, so, and this car might be going bye-bye, so we'll have to see. Gloss black on your mirror caps, and then you'll notice N-Line gets black trim around the window openings. You do get a panoramic roof, and I am so glad, sunroof of course, I'm so glad they painted everything black. Interesting how you have a little bit of dark chrome. Nice that they did the dark chrome finish, like the way they did the touches, and that unique side skirt extension that comes from the side of the vehicle, especially with it being gray. It matches really nicely with our Aero Silver. Rear quarter glass, the real deal. You go to a new Camry or an Accord, they don't have quarter glass anymore. So you get the quarter glass, and then coming around the back, you still have these are vortex generators to clean the air coming off that rear quarter panel into the trunk lid. Nice trunk lid spoilers specific to the N-Line. They actually hide the button to pop open the trunk right within that spoiler. And then I love the way they did the lighting on the back. Very, very modern. Sonata name spelled out in case you forgot how to spell. And yes, that is an A, I promise. Working our way down the ground level, they did it right. Quad tip exhaust, fully functional with a nice simulated rear diffuser area. Those are stainless steel tips, oval openings, and we'll find out if it has a decent sound to it. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood. I talked about performance, let's go see if we can find it. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Underneath the hood, just like the engine cover says, turbo. I remember once upon a time when I was a kid, it was a big deal if a car was a turbo, like a Porsche 930 turbo. Turbo now doesn't really have the same effect, but it does have a turbocharger. It's a 2.5 liter inline four turbocharged engine, 290 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque getting to those front wheels. It uses the N 8-speed DCT. That's a wet clutch, dual clutch transmission. 0 to 60 if you could get the grip in about 5.2 seconds, quarter mile in 13.9 seconds at 105 miles per hour. And I still can't believe this. Top speed, 155 miles per hour. MPG's 23 in the city, 32 on the highway. Not too bad for this type of performance. And it weighs 3,625 pounds. If you were wondering, well, Joe, what about the brakes? Rotors up front are 13.6 inches in diameter, and rotors out back are 12.8 inches in diameter for the stopping capability. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this 4-cylinder turbo Sonata and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Hyundai Sonata N-Line. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I know you mentioned affordability. Is this one of those $50,000 mid-size sports sedans? No, you're actually way off. The MSRP for the Sonata N-Line, the way that you see it, even with the optional custom color of that Aero Silver matte, you're looking at an MSRP of $37,000. Quite a bit less than what the competition is bringing, and they're not even bringing performance sedans anymore. No more Camry TRD, no more Honda Accord with the detuned Type R motor, but we do have the turbocharged power. What do we have on the inside though? To the door panels. I love the door panels. They did a great job. I wish all of the door panels in Hyundai's lineup look as good as this one. You got the Bose sound system, multi-speaker system, nice tweeter up top. You got that dark silver finish on the door handle, and notice how it runs into the trim. And then on the N-Line, you got the red contrast stitching in the middle on the armrest, no gloss black, and a door pocket that is large enough that you might as well go to Costco and get yourself 4 hot dogs because they're only $1.50, and if you're saving yourself all this money with your Hyundai Sonata N-Line, you might as well save yourself some money for lunch. Got plenty of room there and a Pepsi. Now going from the door panel to the dash, more of that great soft touch, nice stitching. It's all super straight. Even the way they did this faux carbon fiber, I'm actually liking it because it's not too overdone. You got a little bit of red trim because this is the N-Line. And then slide on in, you'll notice at the bottom of the infotainment system, there's actually ambient lighting, some ambient lighting in here, which looks good. 12.3-inch infotainment system screen, all touchscreen capability, and it's just like any other Hyundai that we've shown you in the modern era. Same icons, same fonts. Look how easy it is to use. I mean, anybody can do it. Put it into reverse, backup camera, clear resolution, nice trajectory lines. You can even do different angles of the camera, which is, look at that panoramic, look at that. Takes up all 12.3 inches. You know, there's brands that cost $70,000, $80,000 that don't even do that. Then you put it back in the park, right where we started. You got a little bit of a rim job again with the red around the rim of the area where you have your start-stop button. Volume knob, tuning knob, you got your easy access switchgear, TFT display, adjust your blower fan, you got dual climate, 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats, but I'm okay with that at this price point. 2 USB-Cs, a 12 volt, you better run a radar detector, you'll get yourself in trouble. Wireless charging, a place for, I would say, 6 Twinkies, and then of course we got the alien suppository key fob. If you notice, it's a Hyundai badge, but if you turn it this way, it looks a little different. You got your automatic remote start, everything else, but it does look like an alien suppository. You got your drive mode selector button. I'll show you that when you come to the business side. You got a place to put, I would say, 3 boxes of Tic Tacs, 2 cup holders, 1 large, 1 small. Nice soft material with the stitching, open sesame. You got enough room in there. I would say if you're into taking supplements, like I know Steven's been working out and he takes all this creatine and God knows what else he's taking. You can put at least 4 bottles of creatine in there, small bottles. And then the seats. The soft touch, the red stitching. Look at the embroidery, the M badge, Alcantara, nice bolstering. You have manual adjustments for the passenger. The great news is I have electric assist on my side, and you have a power shade for that panoramic sunroof I told you about. So really nice to see that. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Sonata N-Line. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You know how I'm always talking about aluminum dead pedals, and we've been in cars that are like $80,000 that don't have them? Well, check it out, 37 grand. We got an aluminum dead pedal, aluminum brake, and throttle. We even have the Sonata name embroidered on the floor mats. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower. Easy to get to the seat controls. That lower lumbar is nice. Ooh, that feels good. I am 6 feet tall. Plenty of room, even with the sunroof. Let me see if I can, I might, look at this. I can even lower it a little bit. There we go. Now I'm feeling good. Steering wheel, very, very sporty on the style. 2 different types of leather. The red stitching. You got the N badge. And if you wonder what the hell is this, that is Morse code for the letter H. Kind of dumb. I wish they would get rid of that. Just go back to here. I should get some duct tape or maybe a piece of chewing gum and just have it stuck there so I have the Hyundai badge on the wheel. Flat black on the switchgear. You do have paddles to go up and down that 8-speed DCT. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you got your 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. I like the way in the center I could show you the auxiliary gauges. And if you're looking for modes, you only get 3. Normal, sport, and then My Drive, which is you set up your preferences. But of course, we're gonna leave it in sport. And then on top of that, you can go through the information in the center there. It's a little cornucopia, small little cornucopia of information. So nice to have that. No head-up display, but I'm okay with that because we're, like I said, $37,000. The one other thing to show you is that if you're looking for a shifter, it's actually attached to the steering column, and what you do is you twist. Reverse, push for park, tilt forward for drive. That's how they have it there. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see if there's enough room for you to bring your big old friends and stuff them back there in the Sonata. All right, guys, back seat time, and this is really where a midsize sedan flexes its muscle, just like and Accord, just like a Camry. Lots of great space back here. Now behind the driver, there isn't a pocket. I don't know how you feel about that. Doesn't really bother me too much. You do get rear AC vents. That's new for 2025, by the way. And you have 2 USB-Cs. I have my own pocket, but guess what? It's that stupid net, cargo net design. And I like to always carry around my Ninja throwing stars. And obviously I can't keep them in my pocket because that's gonna poke me in my groin in the family jewels. So if I put them in here, it's just gonna rip through that cargo net. Seats, nice armrest, 2 cup holders. And I like the way they styled the seats, just like up front, even with the red stitching. But let's get into the trunk, see what type of junk we could put there, because I want to go for a spin in the Sonata N-Line. All right, guys, time to get in the trunk. Like I said, the button is a little hidden. You hit that, you lift it up, you're going to be greeted to 15 cubic feet of space. These handles you pull on, you could fold down the rear seats, get yourself some extra room. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, does this have a spare? No. Underneath, you literally get a nice little carrying bag for your tire mobility kit. It's a can of flat fix and an electric air compressor. But why don't we go ahead? It's that time. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle and see really how sporty this midsize sedan is. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Sonata N-Line. I have it in sport mode. I'm gonna use the pedals to shift with, and I've totally disabled traction control. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. A lot of tire spin, but really good getaway. That 8-speed dual clutch transmission shifts very well. You do have a gear indicator in the center, which is nice. But let's see how this left-right transition goes. So to the left, to the right. It's actually very balanced. I'm very impressed with how they did the suspension tuning in this Sonata N-Line, considering it's not an all-out N car. It's not the Sonata N like you have the Elantra N. There is sound being pumped in through the Bose sound system. It's not as obnoxious as a BMW or a Lexus. So that's really good to know. Visibility on the gauges, clear, easy to take a quick glance to. I like the way they have the gear indicator for when you're using the paddles to go up and down that 8-speed dual clutch. The one thing is just getting the power to the ground, especially coming out of the corners. A limited slip diff would do wonders on this vehicle. Seats are very, very comfortable. Getting to the 12.3-inch infotainment system is well within reach. You got lots of good storage, and having the shifter on the column really helps with extra room on that center console. I'm gonna drop it down a couple gears. Third gear, second gear, you hear the pumped in sound. On throttle, here we go. On the brakes. So really not bad in the handling department. It's just getting the power to the ground. That's where it becomes a challenge, especially from a dead stop. It's surprising that they didn't produce an all-out Sonata N. They decided to go more with this N-Line. But visibility's great out the front, out the back, fantastic. I'm gonna come to a stop here, and we're gonna go on throttle again. Now what's kind of cool is the little trick is if you hold down the traction control off button, it literally disables it. And stability control. If you just tap it, it limits it. If you hold it down, it disables it. So first gear, on throttle, here we go. You hear the chirping of the tires, a little bit of wheel hop. Need some more grip on those tires. But still, handling wise, you just gotta throw her in and know that she is going to hold, and that's the key. I feel like if you just do it so-so, she kind of pushes, she understeers, but if you just throw her in, you kind of get that back end to come out just a little bit, just a little bit. Fun driving midsize sedan. It's got plenty of power. At this point, adding more power to this car would be stupid because you don't have the limited slip diff and the power is only going to the front wheels. It'd be interesting to see this car with either a limited slip diff and keep it front wheel drive or go all wheel drive and see how she handles then. But it's one of those cars that you could daily drive no problem. But it's in the fun of driving the car where you get to have a good time on your daily commutes. Just know that when you pull out into traffic, the tires are gonna spin. Even with the traction control on, they spin a bit, which is surprising. On throttle, see that? Just spin. Especially because I was asking the tire to turn. I was asking the wheel and tire to turn and get on throttle. It just spins. So just something to realize that this is not an all-out N car. Seats are freaking comfy as heck. You got some pretty good bolstering, which is surprising. Nice having the power shade for the panoramic sunroof. It would have been nice to have the blind spot cameras on this model for when you are changing lanes and whatnot, because you do get a bit of a blind spot with the rear pillar. You got to make sure you use your mirrors and turn your head when you're changing lanes. But other than that, very smooth. Suspension isn't too hard, which is good. You don't want to shake the fillings out of your teeth. It's just going to be interesting to see over time what these vehicles, the Sonatas and the Elantras, what people think of them and how they age. How are they going to age? That's the big million-dollar question. It's actually very quiet in the cabin. Not a lot of wind noise, not a lot of road noise. Steering wheel feels good. And like I said, everything is well laid out in here. Paddles are also a good size. Obviously they're plastic, but they're a good size and they're easy to get to as you are utilizing the steering wheel. But I hope that this has been a good, quick overall review of this Sonata N-Line for 2025. It's going to be interesting to see if Hyundai keeps it around, but we're going to get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways here at my special filming spot location. Definitely want to thank everybody at Hyundai USA for giving us access to this Presley vehicle. Let me know what you think. For the money, is this the most affordable mid-size sports sedan? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Got to give it up to Latte Lori. She's making the cold brew and she's making these great videos with me. Definitely show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.